Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Adam. I'm your host BringItDon. So off camera, I made it back to Krasno. I'm gonna talk to this guy, see if he has anything to say about the book that we used to kill that creature. What brings you here, my friend? A couple of questions. Nope. A trade. Alright, nope, not interested. Okay. I thought maybe I could bring up the his book spawned a shog. Alright, we're gonna go in here and start looting and talking to people. My next priority is to get my base. I'm tired of not having my base. So we're gonna work on that. Who's this guy? You see a scrawny, sick-looking man in a sleeveless top and homespun canvas pants. He'd be a head taller if he straightened his back, but you can't help thinking about just how fragile and weak he looks. This is probably due to the black circles under his eyes, a naturally yellow skin, or constantly shaking hands. The man ignores you as he tries to open a small bottle of cloudy moonshine. Still, no matter how hard he pulls the cork that sticks from the neck, it just won't give in. His forehead is already covered with sweat, his cheeks grow pink with exertion. He raises a conscientious look at you. Yeah, conscientious look. As if designed to ask for help, yet feeling desperately ashamed to do so. What? Serious? Okay. Yeah. Mate, you'll dislodge your arm. Let me. With a defeated sigh, the man gives you the bottle. Without much of an effort, you pull the cork, and it springs out with a wet thump. Thank you. I'm glad to see there's still people in these lands who can help the weak. With people like you, this city has a chance for survival. Survival from what? The man grins. For a second, the look in his bloodshot yellowish eye seems absolutely insane and wild. What, you're interested? You risk becoming the first person who's ever listened to the whole story. Why's that? Is it a long story? The guards kicked me out and didn't let me finish. Mercenaries promised to knock the hell out of me. City residents laughed at me, but I heard it with my own ears. And what was it that you heard? Death is drawing near to Krasno. The organized criminal group Death. Nothing will stop it. No doubt my word. Don't doubt my words, for I'm the one who created it. Wait, what? Long ago, when this body was still loyal to me, in a faraway land several months of walking away from here, I was known as Roma Death. A merciless, heartless gangster and murderer. A product of my time and my surroundings. I'm just gonna listen in silence from here on out. I knew no mercy as I spared no one. Old people, women, children. I took all I wanted and set fire to the rest. Strange as it might sound, though, I wasn't totally mental. Once more, I tried to justify my doings with a philosophy. Yeah, what philosophy? I deduced that only the strongest had a chance to survive in this dying world. The only purpose of the weak is to provide the strong with everything they need, and then become dirt under their boots. I put strength higher than social and personal morals, higher than law. I forfeited them all for one single idea. Everything I desire will become mine. Let's see. That's quite interesting. What happened next? The old man nods gloomily. As time passed, people started following me, attracted by my views, inebriated by the cruelty I could teach them. Homeless guys, often very young, famished among the ruins. Those I spared out of vanity, unlike the rest who was unlucky to meet me. Together we were known as the organized crime group, Death. And then? I lost interest in my own ideas when I saw them through a stranger's eyes. I realized that boys and girls 2 times younger than me, children I had raised and taught myself, are ravaging, murdering, torturing innocent people, burning down houses and entire villages, screaming out slogans I had made up myself. The weak should fear the strong is always right. I realized I was instilling this in my own head to stop feeling dismal at what I was doing, and so I fled, accompanied by one of my apprentices who came to the same conclusion. Interesting revelation. I'm amazed you're able to realize this. And then? For years I didn't live, I merely existed. A nameless shadow who had no friends, no human contact. A monster who tried to quench his wild nature with booze. I guess deep inside I wanted to die. Probably that's why I developed this illness. But several days ago, the guy who had fled with me contacted me from Paragon. 3 of my apprentices, my children, decided to move here from the unwelcoming north, in this part of the wasteland. As far as I understand, there will be 3 squads headed by the most bloodthirsty of my followers. Dima Death, who likes turning people into living torches. Lena Death, a beautiful and insane girl who heads a gang of sadists. And Igor Death, with his wild pack of wolves and a tendency to poke eyes. I remember them as kids. I created them. And now if we allow them to combine their forces, they'll wreak havoc in these lands. What are your plans now? People don't take me serious. They say if such squads existed in our lands, people would know. They don't understand. There have been no reports about them because my children leave no witnesses. Seeing or hearing them is a death sentence, but they have to be stopped. Convince them or destroy, it doesn't matter. I'm too old and decrepit, and you're the only person who's heard my story to the end. Tell me, could you help me? I could offer my services for their extermination. You angels, you're misguided creatures. If you answer the prayer of a devil incarnate, so you think you can exterminate my children. Let's see. Yeah, your children are too dangerous and immoral to be left alive. You're right. I'm not overestimating them because when I say these people are able to slaughter an entire city and not stop but move on with still fresh blood on the soles of their boots. Get rid of them, and you will not only save hundreds of lives but receive my remaining savings as a reward. I'll empty my hiding place, the last coin, while you're fulfilling this task. What now? Now you should go to Paragon. The guy, now a grown-up man, with whom I fled from my own gang, is waiting at the entrance to the tent city. You recognize him by a round black mole above his upper lip. Tell him about my disease. Say you've come to replace me. If he doesn't believe you, tell him, the moon hides behind a cloud. This is our old password. Each of us had our own answer. He will give you the latest locations of the squads he has registered. More or less accurate. Stop them, whatever the cost. Alright, what a task. Yeah, let's ask some questions. Are you sick? Funny, isn't it? At some point in my life, I wasn't just strong. I was one of the people totally defined by their strength. Unstoppable, cruel, unscrupulous. Now I'm merely a shadow of my old self. This plague that I have so fairly developed in the old age was incurable even before the war. First it'll devour my muscles. I can barely hold the bottle already. Then my internal organs. Then eternal flame until the end of time. What do you do here? Where do you work? I'm glad the local authorities didn't ask me that question. It was enough to show them a bunch of bills covered in blood and stretch my hand to accept the occupancy permit. You can say I live off my savings. What do you think about Krasno? My old self, when not stifled by vodka, calls it the cheap city. Sometimes my new self even nods in agreement. Complacent sheep that graze under the knife. Rumors? That circulate here? Well, have you seen the postman? I rarely leave my house. Last time I met him at the video theater, he tried to tell me some crazy crap. I should have listened, but I went my way. Questions about the criminal group Death. The man tenses up and grasps tightly at the razor that's tucked behind his belt. I'm interested in its leaders. Who exactly? Tell me about Dima Death. Dima Death, or the Red Death as they used to call him. His greatest passion was open fire, and he was an epitome of his passion. Always looking for a fight. Always proving his dominance. Winning, humiliating, destroying. Feeding the remains to the fire. If only the burning coals that mark his way could talk. What blood-curdling stories they would tell. I tell him about Lena Death. Little Lena, as beautiful as she is cruel. I saw wanted posters where she's called White Death, fair-headed monster, or Beauty and the Beast in a seducing body. Since her father died, and I, who was like a father to her, quit the gang, she's been overflown with melancholy. The right of the strongest is still her main ideal, but she's turned it inside out. She believes a murder to be a virtue. The world is for the strong, so the strong should show their mercy to the weak and stop their suffering. I talk about Igor, Frankenstein's assistant. Igor Death, the Raven, the Black Death. Other times he would become a theater star, but thanks to me, he's turned his life into a bloody one-man act. If he's in a good mood, his demeanor, weird gestures, and pathos might give you the wrong impression he's harmless. But when a flamboyant actor leaves, a terrifying tyrant rises its ugly head. A slaughterer who massacred entire villages. After he's spoken old men's and kids' eyes before releasing his wolves at them. Okay. Well. I'm gonna loot everything, because I'm still hurting for money. I am broke, as you could say. Someone else living over there. Okay. Well, good. We got. That sounds like pretty exciting quests, but not what I'm here for. I'm here to get my base. But I also want more money, so we're going to steal everything. Let's go talk to... Oh, let's go grab this. Who's this? I'm not going to try and pickpocket because I'm not very good at it. So, I was going to try and grind for the dog encounter, because there's a dog companion you can get in the game. It was my understanding that it was a % chance based off your survival level, but luckily someone posted in the comment section you need a survival of at least 35 in order to trigger the event. So my next level, I'll put the points I need into survival to get to 35, so I'm trying to get the dog companion. Anyway, what is this place? It is huge is what it is. Okay. Is there an upstairs? Actually, it's not that big. So all I know about the base, there's a guy in Krasno you have to talk to get the quest for the base. Let's talk to this guy. Excuse me. A short mustached militiaman whistles an old tune as he spins his baton round and round. Upon seeing you, he stops his little song and lifts up a brow. Well, 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 who do we have here? Someone I don't recognize. Fine with me. Walk around, get to know the city. But if you step out of bounds, oh, I will do things to you. Okay. You're spinning that baton like a true pro. How many years in service? The man gives out a chuckle. Only 5. But see, it was what I was born to do, and that's why I'm so good at it. People like me are worth their weight in gold. When I die, I'll be left with only cowards and slobs whom I must call my colleagues. Why are you so suspicious towards citizens? The brain is the slowest organ to develop in the body. It needs time to become full of knowledge and wisdom, and this is the crucial commodity here in the wastes. Not everybody has it. Take those punks and other junkies we had back in the USSR. We gave them chase, we shaved their long, decadent hair, we took their drugs away, and still they pestered us. Nowadays it's even worse. What's new in town, pal? Care to share? I don't really care. The only thing close to gossip that I know comes from my brother's latest letter. He lives in Trudegrad, you see. Recently that popular singer Viktor Gaidov got killed by sticking his hand into a working crop harvester engine. Now them pesky teens are ruining my brother's city with wall writings. Musical collective film is the best, they write, or Gaidov not dead. Graffiti of such nature doesn't only ruin the city streets, it tells horrible lies. How can he not be dead after sticking his arm into an engine? That's no joke. Viktor Gaidov dead? Dios mio. Hope my helper Kostya will never hear about that, else his heart, it will break. Better die of heart failure than to become a graffiti artist. Yeah, I want to tell him the gatekeeper extorts money from people. That guy? Oh yes, he's one bad apple. Ruins the reputation of the militia. That's what I always say when I'm gone, the citizens will be left with only pricks like this. So you agree that he's a bad guy, but still you won't do anything about it. Okay. Okay, well, done talking to you, bud. Let's loot this room. Alright, partner, what are you doing? You see a surprisingly decent man in simple but neat and clean clothes. He strolls around, whistling under his breath. As he sees you, he stretches out his hand with a friendly smile. Sergei Maslov, veteran. What can I do for you? Veteran, really? Of which war exactly? You don't believe me? Oh, I see you have no idea who you're talking to. For your information, I'm one of the very first people who reacted to the aggression that led the nuclear war. A hero who almost prevented the global tragedy and only failed to succeed because of crapheads who stopped me. There's still a fraction, a tiny spit of conscience in respect to the glorious country... that remains? The remains of which we live in now. You apologize for your distrust, okay. I'm sorry, I was just wondering. Well, yeah, it seems I overreacted too. Okay, let's put it behind us. How can I be of service? I just wanted to have a talk. I'm quite a busy man. Any day now I'll be giving a talk at the Chamber of Commerce, then teaching the guards some tactical maneuvers. But sure, if you have any truly important questions, I'll answer them gladly. Where do you get money, apart from your performances? My main source of income is pension. It's hard to believe, knowing who I am, but I had to knock on all the doors of the governmental bunker to get it. The Chamber of Commerce had no respect for my great deeds, nor for the great country I represent, but I taught them some respect. So now I have enough for modest living. Well, for everything I need, really. How's life in Krasno? Well, since I taught the local government respect and sense of duty to the veterans, the country's heroes, my life's got tolerable. My former comrades in arms now try to taint my name, but they conveniently forget it was I who pressed the government to issue pensions for the member of the last war. What would you say about the political situation? I'm a humble old warrior. I'm used to serving people by heroically rebuffing enemy attacks on the battlefield. But as soon as I have a chance, I'll make myself a candidate for entering the Chamber of Commerce. People who govern it now will be the death of us all. Later, if not sooner. Care to share some rumors? There's another veteran in the city, but he's not like me. He's more like an anti-veteran, a veteran of the criminal group Death. He's tried to persuade me a couple times that his former cronies are planning to attack the city. Personally, I don't believe him. A thief and a gangster always remain a thief and a gangster. What was that other option, though? Had another... I guess not. Okay, well. I feel like I missed a conversation option with that guy. A tall man in his 30s with a long, melancholic face and a rickety back sits in front of you. He looks in the window languidly, gesticulates and cries something out soundlessly from time to time. As he sees you, he smiles shyly and nods. Good day to you, a simple passerby who can turn up to be a rich investor. My name is Gubstov, a poet and a writer. Are you here to talk about my dick? Alright, I'll bite. Poet and writer Gubstov stretches out his hand and then changes his mind, raises it to clap you on the shoulder, changes his mind again and quickly hides it in his pocket. Not really, but now I do want to. Let's talk about dick. Oh, now my new friend won't regret his decision to chat. The thing is, several painful, miserable months ago, a unique commercial idea occurred to me. Listen in silence. I'll create a series of short stories united by the same arch story that will be coming out once a month. This means people who want to know what happens next will have to buy a new issue. This will make the work resonant, which will guarantee regular income. So I decided to... Writer's cheeks grow pink. So I decided to write a series of fantastic, erotic, humorous, educational stories about a member of a communist party in space, Dick Popov, and his spicy adventures at Space Station Strawberry. What? Raised my eyebrow skeptically. 30th century, Soviet humans reborn from the ashes of the nuclear apocalypse explore space and meet other sentient beings. Young, strong, and well-built Central Committee member Dick Popov flies to Strawberry to represent the interests in the Soviet Earth. How can a simple red-blooded guy keep the presence of mind, like any worthy Soviet citizen should, when surrounded by exotic beauties, such as blue-skinned Generalisma Liarna Pildak from Ganymede, or Lascivious? Holy crap, I know this word. Lascivious? Whatever. Lazora from Venus. Son of a gun, I know that word. Whatever. I just can't say it now. Let alone menacing stripper robots from Uranus that appear once in a while to seduce men of all civilized races. Yeah, sounds fascinating. What now? Gubstov smooths out his neat beard dreamily and sighs. The strange thing is, as soon as this idea occurred to me, the editor-in-chief of Shoot to Kill Print House came to town once for some business. This publishing house prints hundreds of materials, from survival manuals to fiction. Alas, I failed to persuade him that publishing my stories was a good idea. But if you think my plan is worthy, maybe you could talk to him. He's staying not too far from here, in the hotel. His name is Vladislav Zurenko. And how exactly did you try to persuade him? Well, he was having lunch there in the courtyard. I ran up to him and said, Ryder Gubstov clears his throat and for the upteenth time goes red. Comrade Zurenko, 1 minute of your time. I'm going to make you a pig offer that bores great significance. Just let me persuade you. Yeah, something along these lines. Anyway, it didn't work. Yeah, what's with all those pig metaphors? How's it supposed to persuade him? Well, someone told me I should include in my speech something original to stand out. There's a rumor someone keeps a pig in the Chamber of Commerce's bunker, so I thought it'd be a good reference. Yeah, now I do think I miscalculated a little. Maybe you'll be more persuasive. Yeah, a little, yeah, to put it mildly. Alright. We got another quest for that writer. Coolio. Now it is nighttime. I should probably wait until daytime so I can talk to more people. I also should go and sell all this stuff to the armorer across the street. Alright, well I think that's everybody in this section. Next we have to go to the next part of Krasno. I'm gonna go sell all this stuff, then I'm gonna wait till morning, so like these people are awake. I don't want people sleeping. Can't zoom in there to see that. Okay. So he has a ton of money. I think it's mostly from me anyway. I'm gonna hold to the wires that I have. Sell this cheese because it's pretty heavy. Alright. Oh, I've been recording. Alright, we got plenty of time. Let's head to the next part of the city, see if we can't find this guy who gives us the other quest. Well, actually, let's rest, or kill time for 12 hours. And get some food in our system. Let's see if those guys are awake now. See if they have anything interesting to say. I'm gonna go on a limb and say no, they do not, but... So we've already talked to her. Alright, so we've already talked to him as well. Let's go back and talk to her real quick. Like being blocked by somebody? So maybe it was just these two people that were sleeping. Hello again, did you want to talk? I think I have some spare time while my hubby isn't around. Speaking of which, how's he doing? I don't know what to say. Once he was on a business trip, a Red Guard gang surrounded him. They started egging him on to murder filthy mutants or something along these lines. He's always been anxious, so scared he was. He got a nervous tick and now shouts out Soviet slogans all the time. Who would have thought it was even possible? Where can I find your husband? He's nearby walking across the street. Okay, so I've already... I feel like there's a quest associated with this now. Well, maybe there's not. It looks like there's someone talking upstairs. It might just be downstairs, and the words being at that angle make it look like they're upstairs. Alright, so now we're in a new area. Who's this? Who are you? What are you doing here? A wide-shouldered, muscular, balding man of around 40 walks around with a huge Myrmic by his side. As the man notices you, he smiles in a friendly manner. What, you like the Myrmic? Come closer, don't fret. This little guy's very polite. You're polite, huh, Bootsy? The man pokes the ant with the tip of his shoe. The insect clicks its jaws and nods its hairy little head. Sure thing. Tell me, what's going on with that ant you have here? There. The man kneels before the Myrmic and starts rubbing his thorax. The mutated insect starts breathing loudly and sticking its tongue out like a happy, excited dog. What's the story? We were both alone in this world when we met, so we started traveling together, entertaining folks and giving kids amazing birthday parties, as well as earning a pretty penny. Bootsy will let almost anyone pet him for the 5 rubles. I take the money and buy us sugar cubes and beer. I don't know, if it was up to me, I'd grant this El Atrocidad a quick death. Calm down, barkeep. You're just jealous. You'd probably die for an ant like this in your pub. Check it out. The man gets a beer bottle out of his backpack and sticks it between the huge razor-sharp jaws of the Myrmic. A click is heard, and the Myrmic bites through the bottle, both the metal cap and the glass of the bottle. Your new friend takes a drink out of the crushed, mangled bottle, winks, and gives you a thumbs up. Why isn't your Myrmic attacking me? Hero scratches the ant's head, and the thing starts vomiting green paste, all the while purring like a cat. Who told you all Myrmics are evil? They're social animals. The Hive Queen teaches them to attack humans by using special pheromones. Bootsy never knew his queen, you see. His Ant Hill was attacked by people from a village up north while he was still an egg. Thus no command to kill all humans was ever issued to him. Where'd you get that beast, man? Myrmic rolls over to his back so that his master could pet his belly. People from my home village raided the local anthill and started shooting all the ants and throwing Molotovs all around. I stole some eggs from the royal chamber and took them home. 3 weeks later, and my 8-legged son was born. A little worker, my sweetie. Bootsy is his name. Why? Upon hearing his name, the ant shrugs his antenna and starts looking around anxiously. His master just smiles. When I got my hands on some ant eggs, I did not know the temperature they needed to hatch, so I placed them into different environments. I put Bootsy's egg into an old trimmed boot, and he hatched. Unfortunately, his little brothers, Sandily, Furnacey, Toilety, and Friggy, weren't as lucky. God bless their little souls. So what things can your mimic do? As told you, petting him costs 5 rubles. Isn't that enough for you? When I get enough for a camera, I'll also sell his pictures with people for 10 rubles. Maybe he also offers other services? I told you he does not. Is that really so? The man picks up the giant ant and holds it protectively in his arms, like a grotesque, malformed baby. I told you, there are no more services. Whatever you say. Okay, well here, I will pet it. Take my money. You give 5 rubles to the ant keeper. In that very moment, the mimic throws you off balance and jumps on your chest. After that, he starts licking your face with his long, narrow tongue. A few minutes of some friendly wrestling with the creature later, you finally get it off your torso and stand up. Petting Bootsy only costs 5 rubles, but it's so fun. You'll be happy all day long. Alright, well, that may have been worth it. It's a hospital? Or a pharmacy? A smiling old woman slowly walks the streets of Krasno. She almost walks into you before noticing you, and lifts her tear-filled eyes on your level. Jeez. I noticed you, first child. Forgive me. Oh, where are you going to? Man, I'm adding words to the sentence. Where are you going? Do you have business to attend to? I have lots to do. Have to catch all the discounted goods the traders sell, buy some salt from the mountain pass of woes, pickle some cabbage and cucumbers. No rest for the elderly. Yeah, life needs motion. What else can I do? Oh, so how are things outside the city? Is everything okay back there? Tell me, child. Calm my heart down. It's okay. People live and make friends. Thank God. That makes me so happy. I got 1 experience point for something. I'm glad to help out. Care to change the topic? Questions. Do you like it here in Krasno? It's a good city. While when me and my husband, God rest his soul, settled here, it was much, much worse. Right after the war it was. Oh, the things that had happened back then. Every night houses on the outskirts were ablaze. There were gunshots heard from the woods. Yes, it was frightening. Nowadays life is almost as it was before the war. It's peaceful. So what's new in town? I don't really know. Ask someone. Okay. Juicy rumors? They say there's a man in Fogolevka who tells people he's a shaman. Can you imagine that, child? A shaman. Disgusting. When the Soviets were in charge, people didn't believe stuff like that. But nowadays, oh. Oh, things change. What should I check out in the city? I don't even know. I'll tell you one thing, though. Don't go to the ship on the port side. Terrible things happen there. Sodomy, alcoholism, drug abuse. I don't want to think about that place. Okay. What sounds like a good time? Or who are you? Maybe clone. Oh, this is only for women. Okay. Triple clone, though, is for men, right? So that's a lot of good stuff. The bored woman at the counter gives you a quick look and quickly lowers your eyes at the paperback in front of her. Is this the hospital? Woman sighs and puts her tattered book aside. Yes, you were right. This is Krasno City Hospital number 1. Do you have an appointment? No, I've just popped in. Or yes, I do have an appointment. Apparently you failed to convince the woman you're telling the truth. She shakes her head skeptically and crosses her arms on her chest. You're not very convincing. This is not the casino to tell lies, you know. How is it possible such a beautiful lady sitting alone, all bored? The woman smiles, looks away, then lowers her eyes before raising them at you again. Why bored? I have plenty of things to do. There's usually a lot of work. You just happen to come by on a quiet day. Well, I see you like reading. This is very rare in the Wasteland. The woman snorts and looks you in the eye. I like men who read books. It's so unusual these days. So intriguing. Maybe you could tell me your favorite authors, and I'll tell you about mine. The woman looks at you, half smiling. Why not? Discuss this issue, if you're interested. Well, it could be interesting. There's a cool and quiet bathroom here. We could have a cigarette and a literary chat there. Unless Zinaida Petrovna interferes, of course. Lead the way. Is she gonna mug me? Maybe she's unlocking the door. The woman smokes, her arms crossed. As she sees you, she gives you a languishing look and cocks her head. My name is Zana, by the way. And I'm... William Sharp. I'll just do this. Okay. What a curious name, you know. I think we can just use our first names. I'm very glad to meet you. I've always considered intelligence a man's highest virtue. Okay. Let's give it a shot. Well, that's interesting. Oh, there's words over here. I like how my scanner's going off the whole time. And also Fidel's in there. Wonder if I get the achievement for this. Because you get an achievement for romancing somebody. How long does this go on for? I assume there would just be like the Fable scenes where it just like fades to black and then you just go on back to adventuring after. But we're just standing here. I don't know how long this is. It's... Okay. Alright, let's go talk to this guy. A lot of good stuff here. A lot of more good stuff. A man dressed as a doctor walks pensively across a small room. He holds a heap of papers in his hands. He constantly browses through them and mumbles under his breath. As he sees you, he nods warily. Dr. Maximov, a specialist in radiation syndrome and addiction treatment. Do you have an appointment, or have just come around? Have just come around. I'd like to have a checkup, Doc. If you don't have an appointment, you'll have to pay for the treatment. Radiation poisoning and alcoholism treatment is 400 rubles. Drug abuse treatment is 600. Everything according to our price list. Let's have a chat. Doctor smiles absentmindedly and nods. He's clearly warmed up to you. Well, I guess it won't hurt to answer a couple of questions. What do you want to know? Tell me about yourself, Dr. Maximov. I'm a doctor, professional medic. There's even a parchment proving my qualifications lying over there somewhere. The war broke out when I was in my first year. After the initial panic, we continued our studies, and we had opportunities to practice. We never had in times of peace. You can't even imagine it now. How's work? Have enough to do? Yeah, we have enough on our hands. Surprisingly, there haven't been many cases of acute radiation syndrome recently. People have become wiser. They know contaminated places now and shun them. I mostly deal with alcoholics. This vice will never cease to bring new patients to my office. Tell me about the city in a nutshell. Nothing bad. If you remove politicians from the central bomb shelter, cult followers from the streets, and those quacks from Mausoleum who constantly preach about their high values, it'll be perfect. Just like before the war, but with shorter queues in shops. Positive attitude. Rumors? I don't deal in rumors, but I can give you a piece of advice. If you don't want to see your GP too often, ignore tins that are at least as old as dinosaurs, and don't eat raw food. Kill an animal, cut the meat, and salt it properly. Salt helps against intestinal worms, sterilizes food, and helps to preserve it. Why am I making all this hype about it? Try saving numerous patients from a beef tapeworm, and you'll promote preventative measures too. Alright, who's this guy in here? Or girl? Zenai. Oh, no, this is the... Okay. Ullman sitting at the table seems busy with some undoubtedly important papers. Having felt your arrival, she slowly, as if unwillingly, lifts her eyes from the papers and looks up at you. You're quick to notice a signed plate on her desk. It reads, Dr. Zenaida Petrovna. I'm sorry, young man, but I'm a little busy with my research. Can I help you? Hey, Doc, I need your help. I don't know whether or not you have talked to the other hospital staff yet, but here we treat only residents of our city. Everybody else needs to pay their hard-earned cash for all our treatments. Toxic poisoning treatment, 300 rubles. General body recovery, 100 rubles. What is your research about? Petrovna looks at your enlightened face and finally nods dryly. Alright, you seem like a smart young fellow. I'm working on a new kind of antidote. However, I need one last and very rare ingredient to start testing my medicine. Without this ingredient, I can't let this product hit the market. It would be just unethical. Listen to silence. You can help me acquire these ingredients. However, first I've got to ask you whether or not you're familiar with the art of disjoining insects and spider-like mutants. Yes, I've been taught how to do it in exchange for a bottle of vodka. Fantastic. Well, in that case, listen. I'm working on a new antidote. It's meant to be more effective and at the same time easier to make than the old pre-war antidote. The only thing I'm missing, and it's quite unpleasant, is a spider's lymph node. And just a regular spider isn't going to cut it. It has to be a lymph node from the Arachnidus sovieticus species. Okay. It was named by the hunter who first discovered them. It's a monster more scary than any spider, that's for sure. Arachnids' lymph nodes contain great amounts of natural antidote. However, the mutant itself is very aggressive, and I imagine it won't be willing to give up its lymph nodes without a fight. It's good that I don't need a lot. 10 of them will do. Hope that you're not prone to arachnophobia and will agree to help me. Yeah, it's a deal. I'll take care of the arachnidae for you. I'm happy to hear that. Arachnidus sovieticus and all of its subspecies can be found in the Eastern Wastelands. It's impossible to mistake it for a regular giant spider. Trust me on this. Questions. She sighs, moves the papers to the side. Fine, I really could use a little break. What would you like to know? Who are you, Zinaida Petrovna? Well, where did you arrive? To a medical establishment? Do I look like a patient? No. So figure this out yourself, young man. Well, what is it that you do? I'm doing my best as a doctor, but even this trade has its own poets. Great doctors are not some self-taught amateurs. Physicians, not witch doctors. Medical men, real men, like Dr. McCoyan from Atroidne, for example. Throughout human history, a great doctor was a treasure that wasn't easy to find. Tell me about the services you provide. If you need stitching up, that can easily be arranged. If you need to get rid of an infection, we'll do that for you. Want to become a man you've always wanted to become? Forget about the bottle? It's possible. Just talk to my colleague, Dr. Maximov. Gossip. I'm not big on gossip, but I do have a piece of advice for you. Books should be your best friends. Recently I've bought myself an issue of Medicine for the Workers from a bookseller. And believe it or not, ideas from that magazine proved to be useful while treating every other patient. I feel that my skills have significantly improved from reading it. Old knowledge has great value. Okay, well. That was exhilarating. And who are you? The last doctor. Or a nurse. I'm hungry all of a sudden. What? Sorry, I didn't... Should have read what he was saying. Oh well, not a big deal. Petrov the mortician looks around this room with a heavy gaze. When he sees you, he rubs his brow with his index finger and thumb. Yes, what is it? Nothing really. Hey, what are you doing? I'm a mortician, if you didn't guess. I cut up the cadavers around here. I see. So how's that job for you? Petrov shrugs and sighs sadly. To some it might seem alright, but note that it wasn't my profession before the war. I had to learn fast, and got hooked on alcohol as a result. I understand. I wouldn't do such a job sober as well. Yeah, hey, if you have some alcohol on you, we can drink it here. Petrov sniffs the air nervously and licks his lips with the tip of his yellowish tongue. Let me ask you some questions instead. Sure, but I won't answer them. Alright, let's drink then. Are you up to it? Petrov sighs and nods. I'm always up to it. What can you offer, though? Would you like some cognac? Now that's a welcome surprise, but a question still remains. Want to drink it with some clonidine? Should I? No, I don't want to waste good cognac. Of course not. You open the bottle and pass it to Petrov. He pours alcohol into glasses and starts singing. The devil would not invent vodka and wine. I'd be a handsome lad looking all fine. Because when I am drunk, I sin with no repentance. Oh man, and I'm hungover. Can I rest while I'm hungover? No. Of course not. Alright. Snores loudly. Snores loudly. And who are you, friend? Fidel, your companion, sees the man on the hospital bed and grins. He waddles to him and claps his hand loudly. Look at your fellow soldier, astonished, but the patient doesn't look surprised at all. On the contrary, he gives you a wide smile. Fidel, came to visit me? I don't want to visit you. We were just passing by. Cut the bull. You must have been worried sick. By the way, who's your friend? Meet Donald, Agent Morozov's case. And this fellow on the bed is Gozin, Mikhail Fedorovich, a local agent. He supervises commercial activities in the wasteland. Nice to meet you, Donald. I was sure I'd seen you somewhere before. It must have been at the base. Nod silently. Yes, I'm so glad to meet you too. You might wonder why. Not just because you're another atom fighter. You see, I have a task for an agent. Mutually beneficial one. Beneficial, you say? This is interesting. Go on. Alright, so essentially there was a settlement called Red Fighter. Okay, yeah, this is the base quest then. Quite a decent place. One important man from KGB even had his country house there. People say it had a private bunker too, in case of war. The settlement has long since been abandoned. It's inhabited by nasty mutants, and the local leaders never have the time to deal with them. Or rather, they can't reach it because it's on the territory controlled by gangs. I don't care about the gangs. It's a fine place. The houses are basically intact. We only need to get rid of the mutants, and we'll have a wonderful base for Adam and a free trade zone in our hands. A proper use for such a place. Right, and will there be a house for me? Of course, it'll be an Adam base. We'll give you the very best house. Alright, okay, so I take it you want me to slaughter the mutants. I agree. Attaboy, you're a true Adam fighter. Always ready for a dangerous adventure and reckless plot, which will be beneficial to everyone in the long run. Right, let me mark the settlement on your map. Hand the map over to Gojin, who confidently burns a neat hole in it with the tip of his cigarette. Here, and good luck with your mission. Better tell me what you do. I'm a merchant. I travel across the wasteland with caravans and also keep an eye on this place on Adam's account. Punt. Now I'm in the city hospital. The old wounds still bother me, and the head doctor is my old friend. He always keeps a free bed for me, so I guess you can say I'm on vacation. Who are you? My name is Mikhail Fedorovich Gozin. I'm a secret agent and work for Adam, and I'm a mutant. Are you? I'd never say by the look of you. This is on the outside. On the inside, if only you saw it. All my intestines are twisted and contorted. I have 3 appendices. One lung is bigger than the other. My heart is on the right, not the left. I could go on forever. It's all because of Krasnov syndrome, or the D virus as scientists call it. Wait, isn't this syndrome just a scary story? This is a misconception many people share. Ever since I stopped being a normal person, I've been thinking about this D virus. What is it? No one knows for sure. Still, I know a thing or two, thanks to my service. The most important thing is that this virus doesn't intend to kill anyone, although most of those who catch it do die. It strives to adapt different life forms and create a symbiosis. As to how exactly it does that and why I was lucky to survive, I don't know. What do you know of Krasno? No more than my mate Fidel. Backwaters before the war, it's quite a decent city now. Our discreet efforts helped a lot, of course. Without us, it would have never occurred to the local authorities to do anything. How's it going in the wasteland? To be honest, it's much better than 5 years ago. Before it was like a war zone here, and now there's just random shooting from time to time. Believe me, in comparison to what it was before, it's like paradise. Have you heard any rumors? People say the Mushroom Cult hates some Devi Christu, a cult leader herself. Probably scared of the competition. Alright, well, hey, we got our quest. How long have I been recording? Perfect. I thought it was going to be like in an hour. I was way off. Okay. So the next episode, we'll leave Krasno and head towards Red Fighter and finally get our base. And all that jazz. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope to see y'all in the next one.